Republican Senator Tom Cotton has a new book out where he openly admits that he wasn't paying attention and did not review any of the evidence during Donald Trump's impeachment trial. Here is what Mr. Cotton wrote in his own book, in his own words, presumably on his own computer. My aides delivered a steady flow of papers and photocopied books hidden underneath a fancy cover sheet labeled supplementary impeachment materials, so nosy reporters sitting above us in the Senate gallery couldn't see what I was reading. They probably would have reported that I wasn't paying attention to the trial. I was paying attention to the story that mattered most. The outcome of the impeachment trial was a foregone conclusion, and it wouldn't impact the daily lives of normal Americans. So what he says he was reading about was, where is it? The origins of coronaviruses, the methods of vaccine development, and the history of pandemics. That is what he wrote. That's what he was looking at. He was doing COVID research, people. Vaccine research. Tom Cotton, by God, was going to get us the damn vaccine somehow. So here's the thing. Prior to the impeachment, Tom Cotton told the public that he and the Republicans, as part of their job, are going to pay attention to the evidence. They're going to follow Federalist 63, as he said. We have a job to do. We're going to make sure we do this fairly, and we're going to listen to the evidence and blah, 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 blah. And then he admits, yeah, I didn't do any of that. I was reading about coronaviruses, which either, by the way, depending on which impeachment this was, because the report I'm reading doesn't make it clear, he was either reading about coronaviruses in the fall of 2019, prior to the COVID pandemic. So either he's clairvoyant and knew we were facing something and didn't tell us, or he was doing it in January of 2021, after we were a full year into the pandemic and after we had vaccines rolling out to the country. So you're doing research on things that are no longer relevant. So I'm not sure if you were looking up things that no longer mattered because we'd already figured that stuff out, or if you were looking at stuff that was going to happen in the future that nobody else but apparently you knew about. So I would like some clarification on that, if Tom Cotton has that, because I think the public needs to know if you are in fact psychic, or if you're just a moron. Willing to bet it's the latter. But here's the thing, Tom Cotton is not the only Republican that was not paying attention during the trial. Republican Senator Marsha Blackburn was reading a book called It Was Resistance at All Costs by Kim Strassel. You had other Republicans that were playing on their phones, some that were doodling. None of them were paying attention because, as Tom Cotton says, the conclusion was foregone. We knew what we were going to do. The evidence didn't matter to us. Now, I understand this is an impeachment trial in the Senate. It does not necessarily follow the same laws as a regular criminal trial would. Because if this were a regular criminal trial, and any of these people, even after the fact, admitted that, yeah, I wasn't paying attention to anything, I already knew I was going to vote, you'd get a mistrial, and it would start all over with brand new jurors. But not in the Senate. Not under our backwards impeachment rules, no. You can just admit that you didn't care because you were going to vote on party lines anyway, and nothing can be done about it. We're just stuck with this system that clearly doesn't work, and all we can do is complain about it. That kind of sucks. It's a bit of a bummer to end this segment on, but unfortunately, that is the reality in which we currently live. They can admit they didn't take the job seriously. They can admit that they weren't doing their actual duties and jobs as senators. And the only thing we can do is hope to hell that people in their states vote them out of office next time they get the chance. But I'd say the hopes of that are rather slim at this point. Hey everyone, this is Aspen. And did you know that for the low cost of $0 per day, you can subscribe to the Fair and Balanced YouTube channel. We also encourage you to like, comment, and share. But again, click that subscribe button and help Aspen not be so grumpy.